This is the Jose Soto Show, and you're listening to Jose Soto, and this whole Chick-Fil-A thing has to stop. Can I start off with saying that? Just stop. I mean, I'm just really fed up with this crap. All I see now is chickens everywhere. I mean, in my head, everywhere I go, I see chickens. And I'm not really pleased about this, because the debate was about, of course, whether or not we want to give money to a company that gives money to organizations who think that throwing gays into jail is a good thing, criminalizing homosexuality here and in Africa. And for many gay people, you might come to find out that that's not really a good thing to throw gay people into jail. I'm just saying that. Maybe some other people have a different idea. Hey, there are others out there in America that believe that the death penalty is appropriate for homosexuality. Oh well. But it's kind of funny that these same conservatives that are saying this, their friends are saying, no, no, no. In America, America's great because we are tolerant. And their friends, their colleagues are calling for our death. That's hilarious. Sad, but still hilarious. So. But I really am fed up with this whole Chick-fil-A crap. And it's not the fact that the boycott people have bad intentions. It's just that I don't find any type of I don't find any good solution to this. The boycott is just going to say, what? I mean, we're going to boycott and then Chick-fil-A makes a lot of money. How is that going to really help? How is that going to send a message? You know, the way that we used to do it is that the anti-gay wackadoodles were the ones that boycotted and they looked like idiots. That's how we used to do things around here. And now we are saying, no, let's do our own version of a boycott, but yet nobody is putting any effort into it. Nobody is putting money up. I mean, for this kind of campaign, because that's what you need to do, is start a campaign. And to basically, you know, bring out the facts. The real facts. We're not talking about, oh, it's just Dan Cathy voicing his opinion on traditional marriage. That's not what the issue is. The issue was that they were donating to anti-gay groups that supported imprisonment of gay people. That was the issue. But nobody spoke about that. Nobody's talking about that. Everybody's so fascinated with this issue about whether or not, you know, Dan Cathy has free speech, whether or not we should support Chick-fil-A. And the question now posed to the gay community is whether or not we boycott this thing. The thing is that, look, the gay community, I think, has already, for the last couple of years, already sort of boycotted this chain. That, you know, I don't think we need any more reiteration of what needs to be said. But a few more other people are now on the bandwagon, and that's good. And that's all we need. We don't need an official boycott. All we had to do was basically let everybody know, and every single individual makes their own decision. That's how it works. But calling it a boycott is a whole different thing. Because now you're saying that you want to send a message to Chick-fil-A by diminishing its profits And that's not really going to happen. How are you going to do that? Like I said, the base of Chick-fil-A, the customer base, are all, how can I say this without offending anybody? They're all a bunch of idiots. How about that? Fat Americans stuffing their fat faces with this fried chicken shit. And we are supposed to enlighten these people? I mean, they don't care. They go on Facebook and on all these these websites, and they defend Chick-fil-A. Oh yes, they do, because Chick-fil-A is marvelous. It's fantastic. There's something in the food. That's what I have to say. But anyways, I'm really done with this, and all I have to say is no. Stop with the Chick-fil-A boycott. It's not going to work. We are going to not like what's going to happen. There's going to be repercussions. Let me tell you why. Because Chick-fil-A has a huge following of morons, fatzos, and idiots. They don't care about gay rights. They only care about stuffing their fat, ugly, pimple-laced faces with deep-fried chicken shit. That is what their hope is on this planet. They have no hope other than that. They have no future. And their intelligence, their IQ levels are lower than average. If you know about that, you'll understand why I am not encouraging a boycott. It's like arguing with a tree. Why do you want to waste your time with that? Why do you want to see that? It's like having a pay-per-view event. You know, gay man versus tree. And you're gonna fight that tree to your very death until you're all bloodied with all the splinters because you're trying to kick the tree down, and you look like an idiot. And the tree's standing there. I'm telling you, I don't like this at all, and we should stop now. Because you have the customer base of idiots, fatzos, and morons, and now you're going to add on to that the right-wingers and the Catholics and all these other people that are going to support it. And right now, the Colonel from KFC, he's really pissed. Oh yeah, KFC is losing stores. They're closing restaurants left and right. Popeyes is doing okay, but for me, I don't visit any of these restaurants. I don't go to any of these restaurants anymore. So people, you choose. You choose what is best. I'm not going to choose for you. I am saying what I have found out and what I've investigated to the best of my ability, and I'm just saying to you why I'm not going to go into a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And that's my decision. Some of you may not like that decision. You might say, but what's wrong with Chick-fil-A? Fuck you. In fact, why do I need to explain to anybody why I'm not going to Chick-fil-A? Is there some sort of law that I have to go eat their chicken sandwich? Well, I mean, does it make me a better person if I eat at Chick-fil-A? Just the other day, an old friend of mine called me up. He wanted to take me out to lunch, and I don't know if he knew, but he's like, well, is there a Chick-fil-A in your area? And I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, I don't eat fast food, and plus I don't want to go there. He's like, why? Why don't you want to go to Chick-fil-A? Oh no, how could you say that? I don't know, but there's something in the food that's making people sort of act like children. And I've worked in the restaurant business myself, and I know that in fast food they add some additives and chemicals And because I know the McDonald's French fries, they lace them with a chemical to make sure that they sort of never decay, and to make them addictive too. I know that for a fact. And so is the gravy from KFC. They add something to it. We all know what's happening. The fast food chains are adding all these chemicals to the food, all these additives. And what happens is that when you grow up, if you're young, especially the young people, they eat this shit. They grow up with a fucked up mind. In fact, it actually adversely affects children more than adults when they develop their brains. That's why if you look at, if you've ever been at a fast food restaurant and a bunch of stupid punks come in and they eat at their restaurant instead of McDonald's, and they act all stupid, you wonder why. Well, it's because it's the food. And they have eaten there for a long time. And that's what makes them dumb and stupid. And on average, yes, fast food makes you stupid. It lowers your IQ. Especially for young people. And if you look at all these comments on the articles and all these people on YouTube or on Facebook, and they're all talking about, most of them are young, by the way. And we all thought, young people are on our side. No, they're on Chick-Fil-A side. Now, if Chick-Fil-A were to, let's say, come out for gay marriage instead of being opposed to it, these will be the same clowns that would defend Chick-Fil-A no matter what. If Chick-Fil-A is for child murder, they will defend Chick-Fil-A. I know that for sure. If Chick-Fil-A were to come out and say, we support child rape, we think that child rape is beautiful, let me tell you, there would be people that would say, well, I don't agree with that, but I still love you have freedom of speech. So there's something in the food. And that's what I believe in. I'm going to stick my guns to that. Okay? And I know some of you think, well, that's kind of out there, Jose. Well, look. When people are clouded with misjudgment in their brains, when they cannot really read the facts when we present the facts, yeah, there's something really going on inside their brain. If you cannot read, and if you cannot really tell what's going on, if your head is in la la land, it's in the clouds, there's something going on in that brain. There's something going on with your brain chemistry that you cannot really correlate or connect the dots here, that are right in front of you. But you see, we have to deal with idiots, and how are we going to do this? We cannot do this. So for me, it's simple. Move on. There are other causes that are more important. I believe that. So, anyways, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Ooh, do you hear that? Thunder and lightning. It's raining outside. Yeah, it's that time of the year here where I live, so not a big deal. And I just want to make one last statement regarding Chick-fil-A. I know some of you might not agree with me. Oh, why are you, Jose, what do you call Chick-fil-A customers idiots? And let me tell you this. Yesterday, I was on an article and I saw this Facebook comment. And I think it was about Sarah Palin, right? How she supports Chick-fil-A, and she was at Chick-fil-A and she was holding bags of Chick-fil-A food. And, you know, that was a picture. So the guy who was a conservative, right, he's He was on that. I mean, but not for what you think. He was commenting on the breasts that she was holding, not the chicken breasts. Her own breasts, by the way. And that kind of really sunk in. Not just that comment, but many other comments. Like, people just making really stupid comments. Like saying, like, is it hateful to support traditional marriage when right at the front of the first post of the thread was, hey, this is the issue. Chick-fil-A supports anti-gay groups who support imprisonment of gay people. Wait a minute, but Dan Cathy supports traditional marriage. I mean, we're not going to win this. We're not going to win this battle. I mean, how can you judge this? How can you? And of course, Nam is going to say, oh, we won. No, dickhead, you didn't win. Nobody won. Chick-fil-A won. You get that? They made the money, you didn't. They cash in on your stupidity. That's what happened. Alright, anyway. Let's go on to some news here, and I just got these news articles today, so these are the most interesting ones. Well, there are many of them. I'm going to try to get it through all of them as soon as I can, fast as I can. But it's just that there's a lot of stupidity in this world. I just have to really, I don't know, think about this for a while. Here's an interesting news article. Headline: with gays, humanity is committing suicide, says Italian politician. Italian journalist and politician Marcello Veneziani writes that nature is seeking destruction with LGBT people. Homosexuality has been, quote, invented by nature for the destruction of humankind. Oh! Even though there's documented evidence of homosexuality all the way back to Samaria and all the way back to ancient China and all the way back to the ancient Incas, and yeah, let's not worry about that. Oh yeah, don't forget the Neanderthal man. We also had evidence of homosexuality, gay marriages back then. Right? Oh, it destroyed their world? It wasn't war, invasion, famine, plagues. It wasn't that, right? It was homosexuality. Because these guys worship, he's a Catholic, I presume, Italy, hello. Catholics worship is all about, it's not based on Christ or Jesus. It is based on this pagan, ritualistic worship of nature. They worship the sun, they worship the earth, and they worship human sexuality. That's why if you're gay, or if you are okay with gay people, you're pro-gay, you counter their pagan rituals, which is, of course, to worship vaginal intercourse. That's what they worship. If you don't believe me, just go ahead and do your homework. Why does the Vatican have an obelisk inside of an oval at the Vatican City? Just look that up. Anyway, Marcello Vanziani, a former Italian journalist, wrote an article on the newspaper El Giornale, owned by the former Italian Prime Minister and tycoon Silvio Berlusconi, stating that Schopenhauer was right. According to Vanziani, who is also a national politician, the philosopher thought that love is due to the need of reproduction. So now nature, see, they worship nature. They don't worship God. They worship Mother Nature. This is where all this green shit comes from. The green environmental, movement, the whole Mother Nature, Earth Day worship. This comes from the Vatican. You don't believe me? That's up to you. But that's what I come up with. The Vatican was behind Darwin. Yes. Vatican was behind the theory of evolution. And the Vatican is behind natural law. Let's say that nature is, because the reason why they are for all of this shit is because they hate humans. It's anti-human. Because what they believe is that nature is perfect as it is. It's perfect as it is. That's why when they see gay people, they think it's anti-nature, even though it's part of nature. We see animals, engage in homosexual activity all the time, and some of them even in long-term relationships. But humans, we are different though. Obviously, I think we are close to supernatural. That's my own personal opinion, right? But if you look at nature, and that's all you can base your theory on, your theology, then anything that goes in nature, then, if you worship nature, that means that whatever she does, Mother Nature, is good. That means when we have plagues, or hurricanes, or typhoons, illnesses, AIDS, that's why they are okay with all this happening, because they worship nature. It's part of nature. That's why Mother Teresa never gave penicillin to those kids in Calcutta, because she was worshiping their illness. It's part of nature. Look it up. How many kids did she cure? 0. Because they worship grief and agony and pain. And that's part of nature, right? Even though we don't like it. Look, there's certain things that nature does and we don't like, and we don't approve. It's harmful and it's anti-human. But now, this Vatican operative is saying, yes, the nature is now against humanity. Meaning, go ahead and kill us. But he's trying to put the blame on gay people, obviously. And of course, we're talking about Italy here, which is the birthplace of fascism, birthplace of Catholicism. So, and then the birthplace of the mafia. So I'm not surprised. And so that's Italy for you. Here's another article. Lebanon arrests 36 men in gay porn cinema. Just 36? That's all? There's a gay porn cinema, a few blocks away from where I live. Well, they put straight porn, in front of the, but there's a gay porn thing and section. And I've been there once. Don't ask me why. I was there because I'm a very curious man. I'm there to see what's up. And I went through because they have 3 rooms, and I went to the first 2 rooms and they had straight porn. One of them was with Lexington Steel, I remember. Then I went to the third one, last one, and it was packed, full of guys, and they were watching gay porn. There were more than 36 guys in there. I think there were about 50 or so, 50 or 60. But you can see each guy sitting in the seats, everybody sits by themselves until you see one guy walking up to the next guy. And I was there for about 30 minutes and I just got bored. And that was a while ago, but 36 men in gay porn cinema were arrested yesterday, on July 28th, in a porn cinema in Beirut, Lebanon. I thought Lebanon had, freedom of expression or something. You can't show gay porn in Lebanon. Imagine if you live there. If you are a bisexual or gay or bicurious, whatever you want to call yourself. man, where you live in a country where you're not allowed to look at anything sexual, or any even straight men have a tough time with this, right? You can't look at any porn whatsoever, not even straight porn. So obviously you're going to have, some really tough days, some really hard days, some bad days, some bad pubic hair days. How about that? You're going to be itching for a long time. I mean, I cannot imagine myself living in that kind of environment. I cannot. It's not because I'm horny. I'm not. I'm just, the reason why I'm not horny is because I have a lot of sex. I release myself. But if you are somebody that's holding yourself in, and all that energy, all that tension is bottled up, and it tends to explode in ways that you may not want. I'm just saying. Just my own personal experience, by the way. Police raided Plaza Cinema, Beirut, which screens porn films and is famous for being a cruising spot, arresting 36 people, including the owner. MTV's, which is the media channel over there, the news channel, not the musical television channel. MTV's report was written in a highly inflammatory language designed to stir up anti-gay feelings. It called the man Shosos, a highly derogatory term in Arabic, roughly translated to perverts and English, and alleged the cinema was a safe haven for prostitution and debauchery. Ooh. In an attempt to fuel public outrage, the report stated that the man behind the Colorado cinema shooting was gay. Oh, that's interesting. Even though we saw his Adult Finder profile and he was looking for women, he was looking to bang some putty. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? I mean, this world is pretty fucked up. Pretty fucked up, if you ask me. And it said that in Lebanon, the issue is the transformation of cinemas into a place of immorality, prostitution, and perversion. You see, if we were under social conservative, dominionist, Dixiecrat rule, I mean, this is what we're gonna get. I'm not trying to frighten anybody, but this is not far away from what Dixiecrats believe in this country and the U.S. They believe that the government has a right to shut down these places. Now, here's the thing. If you don't like these places, don't go there. And that's what I believe in. And I rarely go to these places. I went there because I barely moved to Arizona, and first things I wanted to see was, the gay bar and all that. And I also wanted to see, wait, is there any gay porn cinemas? Just my curiosity. And when I went to this theater, I saw, straight porn outside. I'm like, wait a minute, this is not really, this is not really a gay porn theater. But when I went inside, it was a little bit different. Anyway, next. I'm done with this. And of course, we have Vietnam that is considering same-sex marriage. That's right. Ding Ting Hong Long grasps her girlfriend's hand, and the two gaze into each other's love-struck eyes. Smiling, they talk about their upcoming wedding, how they'll exchange rings and toast to the beginning of their lives together. The lesbians' marriage ceremony in the Vietnamese capital won't be officially recognized, but that could soon change. Vietnam's communist government is now considering whether to allow same-sex couples to marry or legally register and receive rights, positioning the country to be the first in Asia to do so. Actually, not necessarily. Nepal has decided to allow gay marriage, but since they are reviewing the constitution and it takes about a long time to write it, it's not in effect yet. So sort of like in limbo. But Nepal's actually the first one, if you ask me. But if Vietnam gets to it first, it just depends who implements it first. That's how it should go down. But that's interesting. I never crossed my mind Vietnam's gonna be the one to do this. I always thought it was gonna be, Nepal and in Asia and maybe Taiwan, because Taiwan tends to be a lot more liberal, if you ask me. And the thing is that in Vietnam, the gay community is more like underground. I haven't really seen anything like. Yeah, I've seen a few movies from there, but it's still there's a lot of stigma in there. But anyway, very interesting. Vietnam, of all places. Vietnam. Vietnam state-run media, unable to write about politically sensitive topics or openly criticize the one-party government, have embraced a change to explore gay issues. They have run lengthy newspaper stories and television broadcasts, including one live special that won a top award. Interesting. Video of Vietnam's first publicized gay wedding went viral online in 2010, and a few other ceremonies followed, capturing widespread public attention. The Justice Ministry now says a legal framework is necessary because the courts do not know how to handle disputes between same-sex couples living together. The new law could provide rights such as owning property, inheriting, and adopting children. Quote, I think as far as human rights are concerned, it's time for us to look at the reality, Justice Minister Ha Hung Ha Quang said Tuesday. In an online chat broadcast on national television and radio, he said, quote, the number of homosexuals has mounted to hundreds of thousands. It's not a small figure. They live together without registering a marriage. They may own property. We have to handle these issues legally. That's interesting. So we're going to see Vietnam pretty soon legalize gay marriage. But here in America, Americans are deciding to stuff their faces with deep fried shit from Chick-Fil-A to stop gay marriage. Okay? Communist Vietnam allowing gay marriage. Here in America, we stuff our faces with chicken fried shit. God, I love America. And we're back. I want you to listen to this. Don't try to laugh. Just listen.
In history, that first offered marriage certificates to same-sex couples, you'd think would be Sodom and Gomorrah or Rome or Greece. It was actually the society just prior to the flood of Noah. And in the Mishnah, which is the rabbinical interpretation of the Torah in Jewish theology, they say that that's why God brought the flood, because civilization was destroying itself, because there would be no more procreation. There would no longer be husbands and wives having children and furthering society. And so I challenge anyone to look up any society in human history. You've got to go, past like 5 or 10 years, but find any society in human history that ever tried that experiment and live to tell about it. They've all been destroyed because, as Dan Cathy said, we're shaking our fist.
We're shaking our fist. Which way did he go? You heard it right. This is a pastor. His name's Aaron Aaron Frew. And he's sort of frothy. Yeah, right. That's what he said. the flood of Noah was caused by gay marriage. Evidence? Zero. Oh, it's in the Torah, and that's in Jewish theology. One of my best friends was a rabbi. He told me that there is no evidence of gay bashing or that homosexuality was a problem anywhere in the past in Jewish theology. Nowhere. He's a rabbi, and he studied this shit really in depth more than I have. All I know is that during the time of the flood of Noah, you had polygamy, which was okay. I mean, God didn't have a problem with that. But you had husband and you had wives, right? That's what we had, and also had incest and all that, and slavery, and. But he said that every civilization that has adopted gay marriage, even though it was illegal in the Roman Empire became the first civilization to actually have like a marriage certificate, kind of marriage registry kind of thing. And they didn't allow same-sex marriages, even though I think, which one was it that got married? Was it Nero? Got married to a boy or something? I don't know. But he was really fucked up in the head. So that doesn't really count as a gay marriage to me. But you had a lot of other, and again, look what he used. The words, reproduction. The words. Did he use nature? I think he did. But he used reproduction. That's what he used. And that's what they worship, is reproduction. They don't worship family values. They don't value life. And this is ancient pagan rituals that they had, in which they worship the vagina and they worship the penis. And the reason why is because that brought new life. And people back then thought that the rain that was coming down was God's semen that was going to fertilize the land. And well, of course, after the rain, the grass grew, the tree started to bloom, because they thought that that's how the trees got their bloom, because of the semen that came from the heavens, the rain. And they worshiped the rain because they were into reproduction worship, which is pagan. Has nothing to do with Jesus. Nothing to do with Jesus. But yeah, I mean, these reproduction worshippers are all over the place. So I wasn't that surprised, but I was kind of surprised with the whole, Noah. That's a new one. That is a new one. Next, we're going to hear that Adam and Eve sinned because, there was a gay couple, Adam and Steve, right? In the next garden, they got gay married and God was pissed. Right? By the way, an Adam and Eve story, which is a very interesting story, Adam was pleading with God to not expel him from the garden because he was afraid of the others. He was afraid of the others. Who were the others? That were outside of the garden. He was afraid of other people. If you read that passage closely, I forgot which one it was. It was in Genesis, I think it was chapter 3. I forgot the verse. But it was right after when God was, God, the all-knowing God, had to search for Adam. He was looking for Adam. Couldn't find Adam. Right? Well, there's a reason for that, but I'm not going to really go into that too much. But to me, the people who really look at the Bible, who look at ancient theology, have to understand that there were so many sects back then during ancient Babylon, right after the flood of Noah, which basically, wiped out a lot of people in that area, by the way. So, the flood of Noah, it was probably, what I come to conclude was probably somewhere in southern Iran, near the what's it called? The Gulf of Hormuz. I forgot what, but it's right in the Persian Gulf, right around there. If you if you go south of, if you go into the water, you'll find a lot of ancient relics and all that, and they found that, and they think they think that there are towns that are underwater in the Persian Gulf. That's where it happened. That's my belief. But believe me, the flood of Noah had nothing to do with gay marriage. I can assure you that. Because back then, people were into worshiping reproduction. Now, here's the thing I'm very interested also, is that if there was gay marriages all around, and God was all pissed, he had to destroy the whole world, which was that whole area, because a few people were getting gay married. How does that compute? How do you rationalize that? You can't. But see, here's the thing. God is not, under this kind of stupid ideology and this childish way of looking at things, God is really stupid. Because, I mean, look, they're trying to put God into their childish, mindless level. Because there were gay marriages, I had to flood the whole thing. Stupid. Fine, if God should have just let them get gay married and nobody will reproduce, and that'll be the end of that. Instead of, ushering in a huge flood that killed innocent people, children and women and all that, and the elderly. I mean, imagine a flood that just flooded your whole, killed your entire family. Oh, but that was wholly because God made that. God killed those people with the flood. He murdered people, and that's fine. But, hey, if you commit a murder like that, you'll go to jail. But when God does it, well, man, he's the man. What kind of warped theology is that? What kind of, I don't know. I just don't understand that. And people, I mean, I'm sorry. I respect people's beliefs, but this has gone far enough. Seriously, what's in the fucking water? I know there's fluoride in the water. Maybe that's what's causing geniuses like this to lose their brainwave activity. Presents no evidence. Doesn't cite anything from the Torah. Doesn't say, hey, I found this scripture, this ancient tablet that says that there were gay marriages. No, there weren't. Yeah, well, I think there were gay marriages somewhere around the Middle East, and there were also a lot of gay marriages in Africa. There were a lot here in Latin America. There were many gay celebrations. The Aztecs had a gay god who changed sex, gender every so often. My ancestors worshipped that. And they were okay with gay people. They were okay with homosexuality. Sometimes they used it for wrong. Like anything can be used for evil. They used homosexuality for evil. When they go into war, the Aztecs would dehumanize their enemies by raping them, to feminize them, to take away their manliness, if you want to call it that. But as far as gay people is concerned, they were, the Incas respected them. The Mayans had their own rituals for gay people. And you might say, well, that destroyed the Mayans. That's going to come next. That's going to come next. But if God is only striking because there's gay marriage, well, why did he strike in Japan with that big tsunami? Right? There's no gay marriage there. Well, why did he attack Haiti with a big earthquake? Oh, there wasn't any gay marriage there. Why is Africa the most homophobic continent in the world? It's Africa. Yet it's plagued with AIDS, starvation, war, famine. I mean, what? Droughts. And yet nobody is saying, "Whoa, it's because I mean, what would they say if like somebody like Bishop Gene Robinson, that gay bishop, would come out and say, you know what? The reason why Africa has AIDS is because it's anti-gay. Imagine what the anti-gay people would say. Oh my God, he's using the gay agenda. He's using AIDS to further the gay agenda. They will foam at the mouth. Well, that's what they are. Oh, anyways, enough of this. Remember that gay parenting study by Regnerus? Well, we're going to get into that in a bit, so let's go to a break, and I'm going to tell you what happened with that. It's very interesting. It's the study that was conducted just a while ago, in which it said that same-sex parents or gay parents are less stable than heterosexual ones, right? Because, well, I'll get into that after this short break. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. I'm Jose Soto, and you're listening to the Jose Soto Show. And we're back. Now, I want to get to this article here about the gay parenting study. Remember that study? It was big news. There was this guy from a Texas university who came out and said that the gay parents were not suitable. Something like that. That they were less stable than heterosexual parents. And that the children are less successful. That's the conclusion of the study. Even though the author of that study, who is a Catholic Vatican operative, he admitted to that, by the way. And that he works for the foundations who basically funded this nice little study, right? This impartial study. Anyway, a lot of controversy surrounding this study, and finally we get to the truth. So, an auditor was appointed by the publishers of the social science research. And this is what they found. So, bear with me, I'm going to try to read the whole thing. And then we're going to try to figure out what's going on. The peer review process failed to identify significant disqualifying problems with a controversial and widely publicized study that seemed to raise doubts about the parenting abilities of gay couples. According to an internal audit scheduled to appear in the November issue of the journal Social Science Research that published the study, the highly critical audit, a draft of which was provided to the Chronicle, which is the news article here, by the journal's editor, also cites conflicts of interest among the reviewers and states that, quote, scholars who should have known better failed to rescue themselves from the review process. Since it was published last month, the study titled How Different Are the Adult Children of Parents Who Have Same-Sex Relationships, has been the subject of numerous news articles and blog posts. It has been used by opponents of same-sex marriage to make their case, and it has been blasted by gay rights activists as flawed and biased. The study's author, Mark Regnerus, who is a Vatican operative, an associate professor of sociology at the University of Texas at Austin, even made the cover of the Weekly Standard. Believe it or not. I mean, any goof can be on that stupid cover. I mean, it's... God. In the illustration, he's strapped to a Catherine wheel that's been tended by masked torturers. Like Regnerus, the editor of Social Science Research, James D. Wright, has been at the receiving end of an outpouring of anger over the paper. At the suggestion of another scholar, Wright, a professor of sociology at the University of Central Florida, assigned a member of the journal's editorial board, Darren E. Sharkat, a professor of sociology at Southern Illinois University at Carbondale, to examine how the paper was handled. Sharkat was given access to all reviews and correspondence connected with the paper and was told the identities of the reviewers. According to Sharkat, the Regnerus paper should never have been published. His assessment of it in an interview was concise. Quote, "It's bullshit," he said. Meh. And the problem with this whole study was that you had mom and pop, 2 kids, 3 kids, whatever, right? And then they compared that to a mom who cheats on her husband with a lesbian, and then Mark Regnerus said, "Oh, that's a same-sex household." It's not! Comparing apples and oranges. So basically what they got, and I think it was on purpose. I mean, there's more to this than what meets the eye, but this professor was really disingenuous because he states that all of the dysfunctional families there were all gay. That's what he was saying. So he was comparing dysfunctional families, calling them gay, and then saying that, and comparing them to functioning, established, financially secure families. That's really the same, right? I mean, this is research now. This is what. But we caught him. I mean, he was caught red-handed. Red-handed. I mean, what else do you expect? He's a Vatican operative. He was supported financially by conservative, neoconservative, if you want to say that, neocon, globalist, Bilderberger foundations. I mean, what do you expect? Because the controllers who fund these foundations, they want this to be the issue. They want gay people to fight with everybody, and everybody to fight with gay people. Blame the gays for everything. And the crooks in Wall Street who rob us straight, no pun intended, who rob us straight, don't want people to know that we are being robbed straight. So they're going to say, look, the gays are going to destroy society. Oh, Lord. So then they fund all of these foundations, who then fund, of course, the American Family Association, Brian Fisher. They fund the Focus on the Family crowd and all that. And that's why you see all these people who work for these foundations, with their Gucci shoes and their BMWs, M5s, and their Mercs. I mean, these guys have it all. I mean, they're set for life as long as they're rabidly anti-gay. And the reason why they do this, they want people to be concerned about a subject that has nothing to do with their personal life, nothing to do with what's coming next. And what's coming next is this: total economic meltdown. Total economic meltdown. And it's coming. And if you want to, turn a blind eye to it, fine, it's up to you. But there's going to be some problems. We're still not out of the woods yet in regards to the economy. It's still fucked. And of course, the controllers who want it that way, because they're able to control where all the resources are going, they don't want money to be spent on projects, that create jobs. They don't want that. They don't want 0% interest money to be loaned to industries and to companies, to factories where they manufacture goods. They don't want to do that. They're money hoards. And they don't care. They're going to fund the pro-gay side too. Right? Like the Amazon founder. Well, God bless his heart. You know, he might have good intentions. Right? He gave us $2.5 million to fight for gay marriage in Washington State. But, you know, at what cost? And yes, it's an important issue for gay people, not for straight people. Straight people already have marriage. They have economic rights when they get married. So why do they have to worry about this? Well, the controllers want them to worry about it. To worry about something that has nothing to do with them. Because the more you're scared about something, you know, with these fake boogeymans, the more you're less capable of outing them and going after them and after their loot that they stole. I mean, this is so simple. Even a child could understand this. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out what's going on. And of course, this rigorous study is meant to be a part of that. And of course, the anti-gay groups can use this, yes. And then they can further the, you know, the dialogue on something that is not really about straight people. So they get straight people all worked up against gays. And even some gays too. Gays versus gays. And I've seen that. But see, within the gay community, there's that going on. The controllers who are masked as the gay mafia, as I called them before, they don't like it when the gay community is too cohesive. It's too They don't like it when the gay community is too much in unison. They don't like that. So they try to separate and disintegrate the gay community. Sure, they want to separate the nation into groups. That's what they want to do. They want to divide people, right? The gays versus the, you know, the Christian right, whatever. That's what they want. But within those groups, they divide them, right? You have the Dominionists in one hand, you have the Dixiecrats, then you have the Libertarians, then you have the Teabaggers, and you go on and on of how you divide all this. But within the gay community, you also divide people. You know, based on age, based on, you know, whether you have AIDS. Also, you know, many other factors as well. We're divided. Economic factors. Race is a big one too. And that's fine, but in the end, the gay community should be united, but that's not what they want. They don't want something like that to happen. So they're going to keep dividing the gay community continuously. Right? That's why the controllers came up with this idea for the gays. They said that after you're 30 years old, you're dead. Right? That's what they say. After you're 30, you're dead. Might as well kill yourself. I mean, that's why, you know, all this gay teen suicide that we're talking about, that's not it. The highest percentage of suicide is not with the teenagers. It's with those over 30. Because, you know, there are a lot of gay guys who actually believe that. Once you're over 30, it's dead. Your party life is over, right? And that's the bullshit. But they use the age factor a lot. Like, you should, gay people should only hang out with their own age kind of thing. And I had friends who were in their 50s. I still have a best friend who's in his 50s. I'm 30 years old. I have a friend who's 17. I have a friend who's 14. I have a friend who is 61. I have a friend, best friend of mine, former CIA pilot. I think he's 70 now. He's my best friend. and that what's wrong with having somebody older as a friend? But they don't want that. Well, when I had casual colleagues come in, gay guys come in into my life, they say, "Ooh, why do you have a 50-year-old friend? Ew, he's old." They look at that like it's a sexual thing, like there's something sexual going on. And no, there isn't. But you see, that's how our minds get warped. And it's not just the fact that they use studies like this, the anti-gay parenting study, to brainwash straight people to believe this crap, right? But they're using the same techniques against us too. I mean, they're using these techniques to divide the gay community. And that's really bad, because I thought that we gay people supported each other, right? I mean, that's what we are supposed to do. Unless if you're not hot. And I really hate that superficiality. I really do. I despise it. Nothing good comes out of being superficial. Nothing good. Just understand that. Oh well, I'm going to take a short little break. I'm going to have a sip of water. So we'll be right back after a short break. And what is this? Oh, I just got an email. Really? Anyways, we'll be right back after a short break. I'm Jose Soto. This is the Jose Soto Show. You're listening to Intellectual Nudity. Alright, now, I was reading this news article about this flash mob that attacked a Chicago store. And they basically stole about $7,000. That's a lot. $7,000 worth of jeans. And I'm just looking through the comments here, and I see some people making reference. Of course, this was linked on Drudge, so making a few references to Rahm Emanuel trying to block Chick-Fil-A, because of the whole gay thing. And this is getting really out there. I got another email. What is this? Anyway, so to me, this is not going to go away, obviously. And it's just kind of, I don't know, kind of shameful, if you want to say, that there are politicos who are taking advantage of this situation and making it worse and worse and worse. And does this have anything to do, this flash mob has anything to do with gays? No, but somehow we have to. We have to put this into perspective, right? Maybe the reason why these flash mob went for a run-in with the store and tried to steal all their loot because of Chick-Fil-A. Yeah, that's right. Because the gays are against Chick-Fil-A. That must be it. What a bunch of dumbasses. Alright, well, anyway. Oh no, not this. Just got this news article. I keep forgetting about this. Lady Gaga posts nude photo of herself on the internet. Why do I want to see this? Why do I want to see this cretin fully naked in her birth suit? I don't know. But her little monsters love this crap. My little monsters is worship Mama Gaga as she is naked and shows her little putang. Ugh, that's an ugly cunt. Ugh. Lady Gaga, says the article, must feel like we've been ignoring her with all the Robston drama, the Tom Cat divorce, and the Jackson family feud, so she posted a nude photo of herself. Yeah, she's looking for attention. She's an attention whore with nothing else to do. Just like when the whole gay teen suicide, remember, with Jamie Roddenberry, that 14-year-old who killed himself because he made a It Gets Better video. Yeah, I mean, he made an It Gets Better video and then he killed himself, right? It didn't get better for him, that's for sure. But he was a little monster, right? Supposedly. So Lady Gaga was in town. Well, she wasn't in town, but she flew over there and she was at the funeral and everything. She sang. I don't know what she did, but she was basically in the whole thing. Her face was everywhere in that funeral. Anywhere where when we talked about that kid that killed himself, Lady Gaga had her face in there. She was looking for free media, press, free exposure, and more attention for herself. Because if she doesn't get attention for herself, this is what she does. She lowers. I mean, she's not. I mean, look, it's not bad. I'm not saying that you should not show yourself naked in the internet. If that's your thing, fine, go for it. I don't care. I think a lot of people do that, right? When they send pictures to their loved ones or partners, whatever, that's fine. I'm not really against that. But if you're already a celebrity by some remote chance, you are, and you are posting pictures of yourself like this, you don't need to do that. I mean, what's this all about? I mean, yeah, it's just to create more frenzy. Oh, because she's a little monster too? She's a little reject like everybody else that listens to her music? But the thing is, here's what really is funny about this whole little monsters bullshit. All the little monsters that follow her around are rejects. Some of them are gay guys. I mean, you've seen these gay guys that love Lady Gaga. I mean, it's just, I mean, like, you have to wonder what world they live in. Where the hell is their fucking brains? Their brains just fucking sucked into another dimension. That's what happened. So, Lady Gaga to be naked like this, to find approval, right? I mean, that's what she's doing. I thought that you rejects didn't need approval. You can just go out there and do what, you know. But she's doing it for approval. I know that for sure. She's doing it for attention. Rejects don't need attention. But that's what she said. I mean, she said in her concert, you know, we don't need anybody. You're my little monsters. Well, you do need somebody, dumbass. You need people to come in, fill those seats, and pay those expensive concert tickets. Yeah. And of course, if you're not a crazy little monster, you don't fit in that little clique of hers, right? So the rejects who couldn't form their own cliques in the real world now form this fake little clique with Lady Gaga, who charges them to do this, right? For every concert and album and iTunes download, whatever. Anyway, she's failing. Her record sales are plummeting. And this is how low she's sinking, right? I mean, for her. There you go. Oh, and then she's gonna appear on the new Machete movie. Oh, that's gonna be good, right? Oh yeah, Robert De Niro was really good in that movie. So was so was everybody else. Steven Seagal. Hey, puto. What to come? I mean, it was just so... God, that was a horrible movie. May the Lord have mercy on us all. Yeah. But all of you do know what Lady Gaga means, right? I mean, the word Gaga, I mean, you're in a trance. There was an article a while ago published, I don't know where, I think it was on Alex Jones's site. But I saw it somewhere else, too, so it's like they republished it, and they rehashed it. But this article was circulated in every other news site all around the internet. And I talked about how Lady Gaga was sort of groomed to be this sort of celebrity. How she was prepared to be this, like she was groomed for this part. And I mean, yeah, if you look at this woman, she has no personal talent. She has nothing. I mean, she has no beauty, right? I mean, I just saw her cooch, and it's just not, I mean, even for a gay man, that's not really, it's not really A+. But everybody is Gaga. Everybody's taking this picture like, oh my god, ew, I'm a little monster. Ew. God, get a life. And I really hate it when she goes into these concerts and then she says, oh, I'm just like you. I'm a little monster. I'm a reject. No, you stupid bitch. You went to the best schools. You had rich parents. I mean, not super rich, but you had everything for you. You went to an Ivy League school. Well, I mean, what's the whole, what's this whole cameo thing? This whole thing that, oh, I'm just like you, I'm a reject, I have nothing in life, and but I'm gonna sing a song and make millions out of you stupid fucks. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, you stupid little monsters who have nothing else to do in your fucking lives but to give me money. Oh, yes. God. And there are a lot of gay little monsters. And that's what really frightens me. That really frightens me more than the anti-gay stuff. Is that the fact that there are living, breathing gay little monsters out there. These little freakazoids. That are just, I mean, if you look at them, you're like, what the fuck is this shit? Where did this giant caterpillar crawl out of? I mean, you have to just ask yourself, is this even a human, or is it an ET or something that came from another planet? The fuck is this? And the reason why, of course, they're rejected is because they don't act like normal human beings. You have to act all ghoulish and fucking freaky. I mean, what the hell is that? I mean, I'm not, fine. You want to do your own thing. You want to be weird and you want to be all that. But don't complain later on. Oh, I feel so lonely. I would go visit Lady Gaga and see her concerts because I feel so lonely. No, it's because you are stupid and you're going to waste $100 or something that's totally meaningless. And like, I have nothing against going, to concerts if you're gonna see something that's really good. If you're gonna see a really good, talented musician or something, or singer. But if you're just gonna blow it off because you're part of this clique called Little Monsters, and you're just a little monster too, I think you're a brainless idiot. How about that? Yeah, let's just leave it at that. But Jose, you have to be tolerant. I'm a little monster. I love Lady Gaga. How can you not love Lady Gaga, Jose? Well, I don't. Deal with it. She was made in a lab, sort of. Well, not literally. Some people are going to take that out of context. But she was groomed to be a Gaga, to brainwash you. You stupid fucks. Believe me, if this is our leader for the gay community, we're fucking doomed. Alright? We're doomed. This is it. It's over. Done. Get over it. Anyway. We're coming to the conclusion of our show. We thank you very much for listening in. This is the Jose Soto Show. You're listening to Jose Soto. And I'll see you next time. Please take care of yourselves and good night.